Welcome to Sports Bios, the unparalleled exploration of athletic lives, where we delve into the triumphs, controversies, and human dimensions that define the greatest figures in sports. I'm your host, Howard Closewell, and today we embark on a fascinating journey through the life of George Foreman, the boxing legend whose formidable presence in the ring was matched only by his enduring impact outside of it. Born on January 10, 1949, in Marshall, Texas, George Foreman's early life was marked by the complexities of racial tension, economic hardship, and an unyielding spirit that would shape his future. As we immerse ourselves in the world of young George Foreman, we find ourselves in the midst of a tumultuous era. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, with figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X leading the charge against racial inequality. Meanwhile, the boxing world was abuzz with the likes of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, who would later become George's contemporaries and rivals. George Foreman's childhood was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Growing up in a poor African-American family, he faced numerous challenges, including racism, poverty, and limited access to education. His father, J.D. Foreman, was a laborer who struggled to provide for his family, while his mother, Nancy Foreman, worked tirelessly to care for their children. Despite these difficulties, George's parents instilled in him a strong sense of determination and self-reliance that would serve him well throughout his life. The Foreman family resided in the Fifth Ward neighborhood of Houston, Texas, a predominantly African-American community that was plagued by poverty and crime. However, this environment also fostered a strong sense of community and solidarity among its residents. George's childhood was marked by the sounds of gospel music, the smell of soul food cooking on the stove, and the vibrant colors of African-American culture. Under the guidance of his parents and the watchful eye of his community, George Foreman began to develop the skills that would eventually make him a champion. He attended Wheatley High School, where he was an average student but excelled in athletics, particularly boxing. It was during this period that George met Charles "Doc" Broadus, a local coach who recognized his potential and nurtured his growth as a boxer. Broadus, a veteran of the sport, taught George the fundamentals of boxing, from the proper stance to the art of combination punching. More importantly, he instilled in George a sense of discipline and determination that would serve him well throughout his career. As George honed his skills, he began to compete in local amateur tournaments, quickly making a name for himself in the boxing world. In 1964, at the age of 15, George Foreman dropped out of high school to pursue a career in boxing full-time. This decision would mark a turning point in his life, as he began to focus all his energy on becoming a champion. With the support of his family and the guidance of Doc Broadus, George started competing in regional amateur tournaments, where he faced off against some of the toughest opponents in the country. George Foreman's amateur career was nothing short of phenomenal. He won a gold medal at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, defeating Jonas Sepulus of the Soviet Union in the light heavyweight final. This victory not only marked a personal triumph for George, but also symbolized a moment of pride for African Americans during a tumultuous period in American history. The civil rights movement was still gaining momentum, and figures like Muhammad Ali were using their platforms to speak out against racial inequality. Foreman's transition to professional boxing was swift and successful. He made his professional debut on June 23, 1969, defeating Donald Walheim by technical knockout in the third round. Over the next few years, George compiled an impressive record, earning him a shot at the heavyweight title held by Joe Frazier. Their bout, which took place on January 22, 1973, at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica, was one of the most highly anticipated fights of the era. Although Foreman suffered his first professional loss, being knocked down 6 times before the referee stopped the fight in the second round, this defeat served as a valuable learning experience for the young boxer. Undeterred by his loss to Frazier, George Foreman continued to hone his craft, refining his technique and building his strength. His perseverance paid off when he faced Ken Norton on March 26, 1974, at the El Poliedro in Caracas, Venezuela. In a closely contested fight, Foreman emerged victorious, winning by technical knockout in the second round. This victory set the stage for a rematch against Muhammad Ali, who had regained the heavyweight title from George Foreman in the infamous Rumble in the Jungle on October 30, 1974, in Kinshasa, Zaire. The Rumble in the Jungle was more than just a boxing match. It was an event that transcended sports, becoming a cultural phenomenon. The fight took place against the backdrop of political turmoil in Zaire, with dictator Mobutu Sese using the event to boost his international image. Muhammad Ali's victory, achieved through his clever tactic of rope-a-dope, where he leaned back against the ropes and allowed Foreman to tire himself out before launching a decisive counterattack, is considered one of the greatest tactical performances in boxing history. Despite the disappointment of losing to Ali, George Foreman continued to compete at the highest level. He faced Ron Lyle on January 24, 1976, in Las Vegas, Nevada, winning by knockout in the fifth round. This victory was significant not only for Foreman's career, but also because it showcased his resilience and ability to adapt to different opponents. As we explore the later years of George Foreman's boxing career, it becomes clear that his impact on the sport extends beyond his achievements in the ring. He became an icon, a symbol of hope and determination for many young athletes who saw in him a reflection of their own struggles and aspirations. His legacy is not just about the fights he won or lost, but about the way he carried himself with dignity and humility, both in victory and defeat. After retiring from professional boxing in 1997, George Foreman leveraged his fame to build a successful business empire. One of his most notable ventures was the George Foreman lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine, which became a phenomenal success, selling over 100 million units worldwide. The grill's popularity can be attributed to its innovative design, which allowed for healthy cooking with minimal fat. This entrepreneurial endeavor not only earned George significant financial rewards, but also cemented his status as a household name. In addition to his business ventures, George Foreman found a new calling as an ordained minister. He had experienced a spiritual awakening in 1979 after a near-death experience in the ring, which led him to become a born-again Christian. This newfound faith had a profound impact on George's life, leading him to establish the George Foreman Youth and Community Center in Houston, Texas. The center provided a safe haven for underprivileged children, offering them access to education, sports, and spiritual guidance. George Foreman's commitment to his community and his faith is a testament to his character and resilience. He has written several best-selling books, including his autobiography, By George, the autobiography of George Foreman, which offers a candid look into his life, both in and out of the ring. Through his writing and public speaking, George continues to inspire countless individuals around the world, sharing his message of hope, redemption, and the importance of never giving up on one's dreams. As we reflect on George Foreman's remarkable journey, it becomes clear that his impact extends far beyond his achievements in boxing. He is a true icon, a symbol of determination, resilience, and the unbreakable human spirit. His legacy serves as a reminder that with hard work, faith, and perseverance, anyone can overcome adversity and achieve greatness. In the words of George Foreman himself, "I'm not a boxer. I'm a businessman, and I'm a preacher, and I'm a family man." This quote encapsulates the essence of his being, highlighting the various facets of his life that have made him the person he is today. As we conclude the story of George Foreman, we are reminded that true greatness is not solely measured by one's accomplishments, but by the positive impact one has on others and the world at large. And so, our journey through the life of George Foreman comes to a close, but his legacy will undoubtedly continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey as we explored the highs and lows, the triumphs and setbacks, and the unwavering resilience of a true legend. That's all for today's Sports Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Howard Closewell reminding you to keep shooting for your goals.